Hey everyone, moving is wild, right? Boxes everywhere, trying to forward your mail, it can be totally overwhelming. But one of the absolute most critical things you need to do immediately is set up your essential utilities, especially water. Today, in this explainer, we're going to navigate the ins and outs of getting your water service started in Toledo. So, are you moving to Toledo and just want to get your water turned on quickly and smoothly? Well, stick with me. We're going to unravel exactly what you need to get your water flowing hassle-free. We've got a step-by-step guide tailored for complete beginners, packed with practical advice so you can check this major chore right off your to-do list. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to hit 6 clear steps today. Understanding your needs, gathering information, contacting the utility, completing your application, billing and payment setup, and finalizing your service. Step 1. Understanding your needs. You might think water is water, right? But knowing your exact service type is actually the most critical starting point. If you're moving into a standard single-family home or an apartment with its own meter, you're looking at residential service. Super simple. But if you're dealing with commercial or multi-unit properties, especially if you need a new water tap larger than 2 inches, oh boy, the process gets a lot more intense. In places like Ohio, you're looking at commercial building permits, submitting site plans to the water engineer and fire department, and passing strict bacteria tests before you can even think about tapping into the public main. Now, what if you're a contractor? Say you just have short-term water needs. You can actually skip the residential headache altogether. You can hit up bulk water filling stations, which are billed at exactly 4.417 cents per cubic foot. You just set up an account, grab a permit online, and pick up the water from water distribution down on South Erie Street. Or if it's a longer project, you can always rent a long-term hydrant meter with a refundable deposit. Pretty handy. Moving right along, step 2, gathering the necessary information. So here's where things get wild. If you're renting, your required documents come with a massive geographic twist. See, the real question is, which Toledo are you actually moving to? Because the paperwork varies wildly depending on your state. If you're moving to Toledo, Ohio, you've got to have a specific landlord-tenant agent authority agreement on file with the utility to get the bill in your name. Moving to Toledo, Oregon, you're going to need a strictly enforced property owner's certification for tenant accounts. And if you're headed to Toledo, Iowa, it's super chill. You just need to provide the name and phone number of your landlord on the application form. Literally, that's it.
All right, step 3, contacting the water utility.
Knowing exactly who to call is the secret to a fast response. So let's look at this breakdown. For Toledo, Ohio, you'll want to ring the Department of Public Utilities customer service at 419-245-1800. Best time to call, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. If you're in Toledo, Iowa, you're calling 641-484-2160. Or you can just visit City Hall on South Prospect Drive. Oh, and here is a huge tip. If you have a water emergency in Ohio, like a main break, do not call standard customer service. You need to call the 24/7 Engage Toledo line, 419-936-2020. Hitting the right channel right away is crucial. Next up, step 4, completing your application. Right away, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the money, $150. I'm calling out this specific number because if you are setting up service in Toledo, Iowa, this is the strict upfront security deposit required for all new utility accounts. No way around it. You pay this deposit, pay your bills while you live there, and once you move, assuming your account is in good standing, you get it back as a refund check. Now, what's really interesting here is the fine print on the official application for Toledo, Oregon. Down near the signature line, you have to certify that your information is true in good faith and that you're fully aware of the penalties under ORS 153.990 for false certifications. It's a really solid reminder that these applications are legally binding documents, so accuracy is literally everything. Let's zoom in on that same Oregon application for a second, especially for you renters out there. This is exactly what the tenant certification section looks like. Notice how it states the property owner is ultimately on the hook for any utility bill the tenant skips out on. The city can flat out refuse to connect a new tenant until those old bills are paid or even attach them as a lien against the property itself. That is exactly why landlords have to formally accept this responsibility right up front. So to sum up the whole application pipeline and how your paperwork actually turns into active water flow, first, you submit the application and your proof of residence. Second, you pay any required deposits, like that $150 in Iowa. Third, the utility verifies your landlord agreements if you're renting. And finally, once all that clears, you schedule your meter setting or service initiation. It's just like a domino effect. All right, step 5, setting up billing and payment. If you're in Toledo, Ohio, managing your account is super streamlined. They have a customer portal and mobile app called MyTOL. I absolutely recommend enrolling in AutoPay so you guarantee you never miss a payment and get hit with a late fee. Also, this is fantastic, after 12 months of billing history, you become eligible for budget billing. They basically average out your yearly usage and bill you one predictable amount every single month. It is a total game changer for your monthly budgeting. It's also super important to compare how you pay because they aren't all equal. Setting up auto pay through the portal or just dropping off a check by mail, totally free. But if you make a one-time online guest payment with a card or use a self-service kiosk, you're going to get hit with a $2.25 transaction fee for every $400 max payment. Being smart about how you pay definitely saves you cash over the course of a year. And speaking of saving money, if finances are a bit tight, there are programs out there specifically designed to help. In Ohio, they have the Water Rate Affordability Program, or WRAP. It gives you assistance discounts based on specific income tiers. To put this in perspective, for a single person, the household income limit is $31,300. For two people, it's $42,300, and for a three-person household, it bumps up to $53,300. If you qualify, you just fill out a quick pre-application online to get the ball rolling. Almost at the finish line. Step 6, finalizing your service setup. So, looking at the timeline, what happens next? Day 1 is when your application and deposit get processed. From there, the utility says there's a maximum 48-hour window for the water to actually come back on. And I've got to give you a massive pro tip here. Make absolutely sure an adult 18 or older is home when they turn it on. When that water pressure hits the pipes, if there's an open faucet or some hidden leak you didn't know about, being there means you can catch it instantly and prevent severe flood damage. Now, as we wrap things up, keep this critical disclaimer in the back of your mind. Utility procedures, billing rates, application fees, requirements, they change over time. The absolute most practical advice I can give you is to always double-check everything directly with your local municipal water utility office before proceeding. The rules evolve, and you definitely want the latest info straight from the source. We've walked through the different service types, the paperwork, who to call, and how to actually manage those bills effectively. So, considering the crazy geographic twist we uncovered today, which Toledo are you moving to, and are you ready to conquer your utility setup? Armed with all this knowledge, you're perfectly positioned to get your water flowing without a hitch. Thanks for checking out this explainer, and seriously, good luck with the move.